writing through the first rising action. At this point, I've already done an exposition. So the topic I picked was about the time, like, for you guys that were on the call, you already know this, but for those that didn't stay on, like, I was an actor, like a professional actor, for 13 years before I was a teacher. It's probably why I'm so round now. It's because for years I couldn't ever eat anything I wanted to eat, and now I'm going to eat anything all the time that I want to eat. And that's a fact. Like, I was so sad that I could never eat cake or anything. So here's my exposition. When I was in my early 20s, I was working as an actor. A lot of people hear that you're an actor and envision you performing Shakespeare in front of an adoring crowd. Yeah, that would have been awesome. The reality of being a working actor is you mostly perform in industrial training videos. You know, the videos that tell you how to unlock the glass cabinet at Hallmark when you work as a retail clerk. When a TV movie came to town and my agent called and asked if I could rollerblade, I didn't even hesitate. I assured her I could. This wasn't exactly true. I had gone rollerblading with my boyfriend once at a park, mostly on the ground at the park, but I was desperate. I wanted an actual role in an actual movie, a movie that did not require me to guard Precious Moments figurines in a Hallmark store in a strip mall. I figured I'd be able to fudge my way through it. How hard could it be? Okay, so there's my background information. Character, setting, context, all of that. Okay, so now I have to go down to my first rising action. Let's look at what I have to do. Okay, so explain the first thing that happened that created conflict and started to lead you towards the climax of your story. This is where you write about the first step you took as you tried to audition, try out, save the relationship, whatever your topic is. Maybe things are still going mostly fine in this step. Maybe you're just starting to see some problems arise. So I like the bait and switch in this type of writing. I like to build up how things are going really good at the beginning and then switch it out on my second rising action because I think it makes for a more enjoyable read, especially in a humorous piece. Like, honestly, I don't think I thought this was humorous for probably 10 years, but I got a little more time on it now. All right, so what do you guys think my rising action's gonna be? So I got this part, they gave it to me. I said I could rollerblade. Now what's gonna happen? I'll bet you can guess how this is about to go. So, like, before I can completely fall on my face while earning union day rate and infuriate an entire crew of 20 people and get fired, some other things have to happen first. Like, before all that can happen, I have to... Yeah, I gotta, like, go to the place where we're gonna be shooting the thing, right? And, like, take the borrowed rollerblades from my friend with me. Okay, so I'm gonna try to do this like I would see a student do it, like, and not have enough detail, and then Ms. Miller is going to help me, and she's going to help me expand this out, because this is what we'll see with you guys. So, I went to the set of the movie on the day I was supposed to film. I had some borrowed rollerblades with me. And I put them on. Oops, I put them on. Put them on. So far, it was going fine. The director told me what I was going to do, and I met the guy I was supposed to be on a date with for the movie. It was time to shoot the scene. All right, so I don't have a lot there, right? Like, if I'm reading along, I'd be like, I have a lot of questions. All right, so Ms. Miller, I'm a student, and I hand this in. What do you want me to fix? What should I do?
And you guys have seen probably that I've been leaving lots of comments, and I was like, here are the questions I have. And then I leave like 10 questions. Like, the questions I would ask Ms. Simpson would be like, where is the set of the movie?
Oh, okay, so I can go back and fix that.
Where is she going? Is this in a parking lot? Is it at a mall? Is it in a zoo? I don't know, because you don't say.
So, let's see. I got to this little skate park north of the river. Let's see. I was a little surprised Because that kind of sparked something else. When she asked me that question, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember something else now. Guys, to see exactly how many people were there. There were probably, gosh, and this was just B-roll, and I think there were probably 20 people and 3 cameras. Probably 20 staffers and 3 cameras. I felt a little nervous.
That's a big one. Your emotions.
Okay, so let's see. Does that better? Does that tell you more about where it was? Do you feel like that answers it?
And I get a better sense of like who all is in this scene. Like it's not just you. There's all a bunch of different people in there.
I'm gonna actually add. This was a lot bigger production than I was used to at the strip mall Hallmark. Because I want to go back and kind of reference the thing I referenced in my exposition. You can intentionally do some repetition throughout, and I think that sort of is a nice literary strategy to use that most people can pick up on pretty fast. You guys can learn that one easily. Okay, so what else do you want to ask me?
I had some borrowed rollerblades with me, and I put them on. So far, it was going fine. The director told me what I was going to do. What were you going to do?
Oh, okay, so told me, and I think I'm just going to go back and get rid of that part and be more specific. Okay, told me that my date and I were going to be skating and doing tricks. There's where things started going wrong. In the background of a scene when the main characters were arguing in the park. So we were supposed to be like snazzy background.
And that gives me a lot more detail.
And I feel like I already talked about meeting the guy. Well, I could actually go into that. This is an interesting part. This reminds me of how I met the guy. I don't remember his name now because it's been like 25 years. Okay, so like I'll just tell you guys about it, then we can see how I want to phrase it. So like, you know, I like kind of lied and said I could rollerblade because it was the 90s and everybody rollerbladed, right? You probably don't even know this, Miss Miller. You were like an infant. You were a baby. Okay, so everyone rollerbladed in the 90s. And so, like, you know, like you would have your rollerblades and like no one wore helmets or anything. Like that just wasn't something we did back in like 1995. And so this guy, he's like skating around and like going up the little ramp and like flipping, like he actually like knew how to rollerblade. And so then I felt increasingly uneasy because I'm like, oh, perhaps this lie is not going to be as easy to perpetuate as I had hoped. So I'm going to say that's when I saw the guy I was supposed to be on the date with for the movie. He was skating around like some sort of professional rollerblader, like that's even a job, blader, going up the ramps, jumping, twisting, flipping. I was like, really? Flipping. And then I think that needs to go like maybe later, but my stomach was starting to feel pretty tight and sick when they had asked if I could rollerblade. I was thinking rollerblade from like the drinking fountain down the flat trail to the bench. It looked like they were perhaps expecting a bit more than that. Okay, so do you see how much I added there just by going back and answering Ms. Miller's questions? And that's the trick. And sometimes when you answer one question, it kind of makes you remember something else, and then you end up adding more. All right, so let's read it. Let's see if we like how it sounds. Because, okay, this is my number one advice, and no kid ever wants to do it. It makes me just bananas. If you go back and you stop and you read your stuff out loud to yourself, it will make you slow down and you will hear mistakes. I'm still finding mistakes in ratings I did last week. Okay, so I went to the set of the movie on the day I was supposed to film. I got to this little skate park north of the river. I feel like I could just say it was this little, because I feel like that's repetitive. Okay, so it was this little skate park north of the river. I was a little surprised to see exactly how many people were there. There were probably 20 staffers and 3 cameras. And actually, I'll just say cameramen, because like that way I'm talking about people, and that makes more sense than people and objects. I felt a little nervous. This was a lot bigger production than I was used to at the strip mall Hallmark. I had some borrowed rollerblades with me, and I put them on. So far, it was going fine. The director told me that my date and I were going to be skating and doing tricks in the background of a scene when the main characters were arguing in the park. That's when I saw the guy I was supposed to be on a date with for the movie. He was skating around like some sort of professional rollerblader, going up ramps, jumping, twisting, flipping. My stomach was starting to feel pretty tight and sick. When they asked if I could rollerblade, I was thinking rollerblade from the drinking fountain to down the flat trail to the bench. It looked like they were perhaps expecting a bit more than that. Okay, so I feel like I've started to set up, like I started out like things looked okay, and then they got a little worse, and then they got a little worse, and then they got a little worse. So what do you think is going to happen when I start writing my second rising action later this week? Is it going to be like, woo, things are better, like the spirit of rollerblades were upon me, and now I can flip? Oh, I flipped all right, but you'll hear about that. It didn't go quite like one would want. Like, I couldn't work for like 4 months. I actually got injured badly enough on the set. Yeah, because I was like gonna bluff all the way to the bitter end, you know. Okay, so I feel like that part can come later. All right, so I feel like that's okay. Now, if I'm going to make notes to myself, I might go back and think, there's really things I want to add in there. Like, I think I want to practice adding dialogue later. I think I made myself some notes back in my intro. And, like, there's some places where I feel like my word choice could maybe be better, or I could embed a little more humor, because that's one of the goals I have for my writing. But other than that, I think we're okay. Like, I'm not seeing red squiggles, so I know I didn't misspell anything. And I advise you guys to revise a little as you go, because trying to do it all at the end is a big pain. I'm looking, if I see any blue squiggles, that means I have a grammatical error. I don't see anything there. I did okay there. But I would check for all that as well. All right, so let me think. All right, anything else you think I need to do right now, or am I okay for a rough draft, guys? I'm good? Okay, I must stop recording this. I forgot I was recording. That's good, though. All right, I'll put this up on the YouTubes and do a link.